Oh my goodness, what a week. We had an election. Well, like 75 people had an election. The rest of us just kind of screwed around, so I didn't get to vote, so it's not my fault. I did what I could. I told you about it, and if you weren't listening, that's your fault. almostagreement at gmail.com. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and YouTube. Go to the website, almostagreement.com. Check out the cool stuff we got going on there. Go to your favorite podcast provider. We're available on all those things. And we're Almost Agreement, and you should share us and tell your friends about us and do all those things. We are watching some high school football in the background. I personally, I don't know how Sam feels about it. I'm quite excited that we have the football. The UT football returns tomorrow. Your Ohio State friend is playing Texas as the premier matchup of the weekend for sure. But anyway, we're Almost Agreement. Go to the website, share us, tell us, whatever. Do the things that help spread the word about the show, because we like to at least feel like people listen, so it's more fun that way. Anyway, Almost Agreement, everybody. We're going to get a show started, and it's going to start out with me being real bitchy. I'm still going to be bitchy, but I changed my mind. Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Hey.
What's new with you?
Not much.
Nothing? Okay, well, we got the important parts out of the way, so we can get on to the show. Actually, I think my top story of the week is there's three, I guess. The stupid Chilhowee Park thing. People are getting all bent out of shape still, and they're delaying, and now Mackenzie's going to try to delay it again, even though she put it up in the first place. But David Henderson, former chief of the narcotics department for the Knox County Sheriff's Office, pled guilty this week to stealing money.
Saw that.
That one's pretty fun and implicates a lot of names in it. And Jimmy's already made known that he plans on running for sheriff next year. And I don't know if this is a problem for his future campaign.
His name get dropped?
Oh yeah, because not only was it on his watch that this guy. I mean, it was more than him. I mean. I can't remember what the exact window of time was, but it was like 10 or 12 years that he was scamming Knox County. Basically there's two parts of it, which is kind of weird. The Drug Task Force Fund is funded in two ways. It gets federal grant money, and it seized assets from drug dealers.
Yeah.
And so that's how they fund this thing. And so they have pretty wide latitude on how they're allowed to use it as long as it's about continuing the process of getting dealers off the street kind of shit. So, the marquee instance is a handful of deputies on the clock went out to Jimmy's property and built a duck blind. And all the materials for the duck blind were bought by the drug fund.
I'm hearing something about that. That it was basically like police officers that were like on the clock but not doing cop stuff.
Right. And so to me, I think Jimmy should be like, it sounds to me like this implicates Jimmy in at least, I don't know what the legal term is, but at least implicates that he knowingly was abusing his office.
Yeah.
You know, like if it was happening over there and it was out of sight and whatever, I could see Jimmy making the argument.
I've got a couple commanders in between me. I wasn't
right. I didn't know they were doing that. You know, like right. It was because the guy with this Henderson fellow was apparently like he'd send like people that were underneath him to the store to go buy a computer, and then with the drug money credit card, and then he would give that computer to his cousin or something like that.
Nice.
And then a couple of years later, he'd buy his cousin a new computer, and then take the old one back and give it to somebody else that he wanted to give it to. And so shit like that was what he was doing. That was the majority, I suppose, of the actual dollar spent. Like about $138,000 is what they know of,
right?
That they can account for in use of the narcotics money for it, including cameras, security systems, Yeti coolers, a couple of Lazy Boy leather executive chairs, and more.
I can't remember if it was local or it was some other like sheriff's office where they were getting like some of the like county jail prisoners to go out and like do like handiwork and stuff for some police force. I don't know if that was a local story or something else.
I mean, that one makes a little more like that. Like, I mean, I think like inmate stuff, like inmate labor stuff.
This was off the books,
right? It gets real sketchy real fast. So, I mean, I'm agreeing with that, but at the same time, it's like, you know, I don't know. It's weird. I get the argument kind of both ways. Like, I think for a lot of reasons, I have issues with it in the sense of, well, like I'm a contractor and I go and do like, you know, like I have a groundskeeping company that I own, and I've got to pay people minimum wage, and the city puts out a request for proposals for people to come and do some groundskeeping work for the city, and then the sheriff's office comes in and says, "Oh, we can do it for less than that."
Yeah.
Because he can go and bring, 20 guys out of the jail cell, and then he can, he's using county assets to move these people around. That's kind of fucked. And then those people get nothing or next to nothing for their actual labors. It's like, I don't know, like kind of
$5 in your commissary.
I mean, but you also get to get out of the box for a while. I think that's got value. It's fair to say that is a value in and of itself. Like go out into the world and see the world that you haven't been able to see, and for however many years you've been in there, as long as you're safe and you're not a concern to like do some bad shit while you're out there. But like I could see that as its own reward if you've been in for 5 years and you haven't left the grounds once.
Right.
All you see is the same walls and the same hill and the same tree and the same whatever around you all the time. It's just getting out would be its own kind of payment for a little bit.
All right.
But at the same time too, it's like, that's real labor, and they should at least, I don't know. I think it'd be fair if you have, like, for instance, in my case, where you have this guy who did damage to my property who's getting arrested for a number of things and he's going to do time for it. And if he went on a work release thing, that a real wage could be paid to him, and it could go to me for paying back the damages he did.
Yeah.
It's like you're earning a real wage, but you owe people that money, so we're going to help you pay your debts while you're in here.
There's a good bit of people that they get like restitution that have to be paid out.
Yeah, but I don't know that. I don't think generally labor, incarcerated labor.
Right, they usually aren't able to pay it off if that jail or prison or whatever has any kind of work thing. I think the old adage used to be like stamping license plates or kind of stuff like that.
I mean, again, like I could see the argument for making use of these people that have the ability to do something, and you can do it at a discount, especially if it's something that's hard to get done and it's hard to have. There's not a lot of contractors in the area that do it, and if it's volunteer by the people who are doing it, like it's not a punishment that you have to go out and do road work. It's a, like you ask to be able to go join that team instead of being stuck in your box.
Yeah, I think I told you about that story I saw. I think it was down in Alabama about some town during heightened kind of like immigration enforcement. So it's maybe 10, 15 years ago or whatever, where all the field workers got ran off. So then I guess they started contracting or were able to work with the local jail to help pick watermelons. But then like the owner of the farm and the fields were like, these guys are shit. Like, hey, like half of them are lazy. They just want to like smoke cigarettes, and they're not doing it as well as far as like planting and picking the watermelons. That's,
very, very possible. There's a skill to it once you've done it for a while.
We miss our migrant workers.
Yeah. They were cheaper and they're better than you.
Right.
Or maybe they were
just doing like a shit job of like replanting new plants.
Yeah. But so, I don't know. Like I will be disappointed if there is no more arrests made in this case, because part of his plea deal is to cooperate. And then the other thing to me that this is like, it hasn't been covered yet. But the first thing that came out that popped in my head while reading through some of this stuff, it's like, it's a weird incentive structure when your budget comes out of your arrests.
Right.
And so it's like, how much of the seized money was rightfully seized? Because civil asset forfeiture is a fucking mess.
True.
We can argue whether it should be legal or not, or how it needs to be changed. That is an aside. But just as, you get picked up with a couple of joints in your pocket and they decide you're dealing when it's actually just your personal shit, but then they take your car because it was used in the commission of the crime, and so they seize your car and you go to jail and you're like, no, it's personal, or you go to court and you plead out and you get it taken care of and it drops to a simple possession, but then it takes you probably more than your car's worth to get your car back. But they took that car and it's in the lot, and once it sits in the lot long enough, they auction it off and somebody else buys that car.
Right.
I assume that money goes into that pile.
We've talked about it with like TWRA as well. If you get caught for like, game violations, they can then take like your ATV and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, like, I mean, there's like, I get it I I don't get it. I just don't. Like, I can't wrap my head around the premise of civil asset forfeiture. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, it should be, if you are convicted of said crime, then they could take your shit. That seems reasonable to me.
Right.
But to take your shit on the pending charges of seems a little excessive.
I can see reasonably, like, seizing it in the interim.
Yeah, or at least, right, seizing in the interim and having a very straightforward, I mean, it should be simple. It should be as simple as, we took $10,000 in cash that you had, and we took your car, and we took your phone, and we put it over here.
Right.
You pled down, charges were dropped, you won your case, whatever it is, here's your shit back.
Yeah.
There should be no process to get your stuff back once you are found not guilty, or once it settles out and that shouldn't have been taken. I don't know. I take that back. No, the gut reaction should be not. I mean, it's one of those. Yeah, who said it? It's I'd rather a dozen guilty men roam free than have one innocent man behind bars, kind of thing.
Right.
Like, that to me is that sentiment applied to this is like, I'd rather 10 drug dealers have their fucking fancy ass cars than one guy who just likes to smoke a J every once in a while losing his to some bullshit. But so that's where my mind goes with this, and I don't know if any of those cases are going to reopen or anything's going to come out of that side of it, because it's certainly the incentive was certainly there, especially if he was taking it and put it in his pocket, for lack of a better word.
Right.
The incentive's there for him to go and get more assets to put into that, because he still has to fund what they're supposed to do and whatever he's spending the stuff on the side. And so, are there that many drug dealers in Knoxville that they seize that much stuff that they can run their operations and lose $150,000 and still have a plenty of operating budget? I don't know the answer to that, but that's where my mind goes in a story like this.
I mean, you hear about the occasional kind of like big bust, like it was $3 million worth of X or whatever.
Yeah, but it's worth of stuff.
It's usually street value, but then they also, I'm assuming, with some of those bigger busts, they have other...
They do get some cash out of it, or they get their guns out of it. Like, you see those where they put it on the table, and it's like, pounds of marijuana stacked up, and some stacks of cash, and some guns and shit on the table.
Right.
But it's still like, I don't know that I've seen one that's like, 6-figure cash and drugs. It's usually the drugs and some guns and shit.
It's like tens of thousands of dollars.
Right. But, how many of those annually? I would assume that's not that many. I don't know. That's like I said. There's a lot of that. It brings.
Again,
a lot
we
of
don't know a
questions.
breakdown of how much of civil asset forfeiture. If they kind of like rebudget it every year of, hey, you got this much last year, so your budget you're getting from the city or county is going to be less because you had an excess on this other end of it.
Right.
If it's some kind of sliding scale. Or if it's we give you this much and then you get to keep your civil asset forfeiture on top of that, or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's the latter. Because that's why, like, you always see like the dare car.
Right.
The dare car is always like a Corvette or something like that. It's because they either seized it or they bought the Corvette and did the wrap and make the fancy dare car because they have that's where that I'm pretty sure.
I haven't seen the dare Corvette. I figured it was just a normal cruiser.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of questions about it. Like, I hope, just for the sake of decency, that disqualifies, not technically disqualifies, because unless he's criminally charged, it doesn't technically disqualify Jimmy from running for sheriff.
Right.
But I hope that it functionally disqualifies him, because at least as of right now, unless Jimmy can bring some proof forward that he paid those people or that they were off the clock. Like, just for the duck blind stuff, like
right.
the specific part that he's part of, unless he can prove the innocence of the case, right now it's on record that he was the recipient of this slush fund usage from this from Officer Henderson.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if Henderson's name was in the article about the 4 or 5 people that were throwing their name in the hat for sheriff as well.
I don't know, maybe. There is a lot. Something Lions and
yeah.
I'm trying to get this
I think
election
he
results
is or
while
was
we're
it
talking
a
about other
chief?
stuff. City primary. Cumulative report. Here we go. And the saddest news of all: not corruption, not blatant, ridiculous corruption from your own officials here in Knox County, but all. Oh, I don't know. Let's see here. District 1 had a total of 1,613 votes. District 2 had a total of 1,954. District 3 had 1,803. District 4 had almost 3,000. Look at you, District 4. Way to go. And District 6 had 1,550. So what's that add up to? Like 10-5? Historically, the general here in November will double, give or take. So 20,000. I believe the total was 11.9% of eligible voters voted. Now, it's going to be a little bit of a misnomer no matter how it goes in November, because District 5, who doesn't have an election, will be able to vote in the sales tax referendum. So there will be a whole subset of people voting who aren't voting for a candidate. But I don't know. So I sent you the screenshot of our friend Eric Whiter,
Right.
Who I think may need to be committed. I think he might be crazy. Like, I used to think he was just a little bit hard-headed. I think he's lost his mind. I think he's delusional past the point of and he's I don't know how to describe it. Basically, okay, so this is a quote from Eric's post on Wednesday. Yesterday, Knoxville City Council primary was a clear win for conservative Republicans. Now, I have the election results up. They don't have parties affiliation on the ballot because it's city elections are, quote, nonpartisan. With 4 conservative candidates advancing to November, claims otherwise are spin from liberals and their media allies. You're right, Eric. I'm a liberal media ally. I don't know how else to that must be the truth because you said it. Because other than District 4, which I said months ago, District 4 will elect District 3 will elect a Republican. That's since they changed the election law, that was almost a guarantee. Let's see here. Doug Lloyd is the Republican candidate that Eric is running, and he won the primary with a whopping 38% of the total vote.
Booyah.
So we'll give him that. It is a resounding victory by comparison to the history of the city of Knoxville elections, or of the recent history of city of Knoxville elections, because it's not actually. There's been a number of times where District 3 has a Republican candidate or a right-leaning candidate has won the primary. It's because of the stupid old election law that when it went citywide, they would then lose.
Right.
That's how Seema Singh ended up in there in the first place. But so this isn't new. So on the functional, like a win, I guess the question here is, what's the definition of a win? The definition of a win is you did better than you've done in the past, which that's like, I remember talking to Matt Shears about that back in the day. It's a win for the Democrats in Knox County to be a significantly higher percentage of lose by a smaller percentage than they lost last time.
Yeah, I think I remember saying.
It's one of those that, like, we're catching ground, we're getting closer to.
Right.
I haven't gone down and broke down the numbers historically, but I don't know. Going to District 2, Nathan Honeycutt, the Democrat, quote unquote Democrat, almost 81% of the total vote. In District 2, District 1 didn't have a District 1 did, and that's which one's this District 2? Becky Jones? Yeah, Becky Jones, no. Yeah, Becky Jones, who took a resounding third place. Melody Watts is the District 2 one who got her ass kicked. Doug Lloyd, as mentioned, was going to win. I mean, a right-leaning person was going to win District 3. That's just a known fact. Jeff Tallman in District 4 got 34.5% of the vote. Jane George, who isn't running but ran, like her name was already on the thing, but she withdrew after the deadline.
I was wondering about that because I saw that she was far down. I was like, wait, she ran for mayor. I was surprised her numbers were so low. But
no, she didn't run for mayor. She ran for. She started a primary against Gloria for the for Burchett seat.
Who was it that ran against Jacobs?
She ran against Burchett. That's Debbie Helsley. She's a city councilor already.
Okay.
And then Matt DeBartolabin. He's a super cool dude. Met him 1,000 times, and I feel bad because I just like, yeah, you're just Matt DeBartolabin. Anyway, he took 60% of the vote. There's nobody of the 72 people that voted on election day for Jane George, the 193 total who voted for Jane George, I ain't going to be voting for Jeff Tallman. Now, let's do some math real quick. Assuming assuming historically accurate history is that the election doubles, right? So if
from primary to general,
right? So the 2,800 people voted in District 4. If that doubles to 5,600 or so, if the Jane George people don't show up and don't come out at all, or even if the Jane George people split and all go to Jeff Tallman, and it just doesn't, like, they're mathematically, it's going to be tight. It's going to be close. It's going to be a very close race considering. I don't think it actually is going to end up that way. I think Jeff Tallman is going to end up losing probably by more than this current percentage. I think it's going to go from a 59.65 to like a 62. That'd be my guess. It's not going to be it's not going to run away to that 80-20 like District 2 was. But anyway, back to my main point is Eric's counting this as a win. And I think consultant class picture of it in a city of Knoxville race, having 4 candidates that run right get to the primary and through the primary is probably more than they've done in the past. I know last cycle when he ran that slate of 5 candidates that the Republican Party actually actively went with Herrera and all that kind of stuff when we talked about it. Mm-hmm. They did much worse. They also had much worse candidates that time, the pea drinking lady in District 1. Nick Cipero, who's at this point, I don't know, I thought he was an interesting guy. I thought he has a lot of interesting stuff. His professional life and he does windmill recycling. Mm-hmm. Apparently, I don't know if maybe he was blowing smoke, pun intended. That he's got the contract to take over the Bull Run site for one of his companies once Bull Run gets cleared and cleaned. Mm-hmm. Which that's a big contract. Whatever the fuck he's doing there, right? And that's some pretty impressive stuff. But also, he was complaining on election night that the election commission was rigging shit because his wife got purged from the voter rolls apparently and didn't get to vote for him. And if you go he got trounced in that seat. Let's see, where'd it go? He got 184 votes total. I mean, I guess that's not too one more vote would put him at 185. I mean, he had 10% of the total vote. One person would have gotten to 11%, give or take. I mean, he had 200 of 1,800 was what he had, a little shorter. Anyway, but he was complaining that his wife got purged from the rolls, and that's why he lost. He thinks that he thinks that somebody's manipulating the voter rolls to keep him out. Ooh. And so again, going back to the point, it's like. Yes, right-leaning candidates have. I believe right-leaning candidates have made gains in the primary, and they will, by default, make gains in the general because of the change in the election law mm-hmm. that he made happen through Elaine Davis. Speaking of, Elaine's husband is running for one of the people running for sheriff.
Oh, okay.
Which he was a DA agent or something like that prior. That's why she hates weed, because of all the times he went into drug busts and all the terrible people were so fucked up from weed, just discounting all the other shit that the dealers that he went in there after probably were selling, but whatever. It's all weed.
I think there was a Frazier running as well. I was wondering if it was Mrs. Frazier.
Kim Frazier? I don't know.
Don't know if it was her husband.
I don't know. But there's as of right now, there's 5 or 6 people that are already actively in the process. Bernie Lyons, I think, is one of them.
Yeah.
He's got signs out already. I've seen his signs in people's yard.
I've heard the name Chief Lyons. Pretty sure he is or was a chief.
All of them are Republicans. I think there's 5 people that have already actively gone in. All of them are Republicans. All of them except Jimmy are current sheriff and police. So it's probably not Mr. Henderson because he ain't employed no more. The guy, was that the name?
Yeah.
And so anyway, I don't know. Congratulations, Eric. You've gotten candidates past a primary. All of except one are going to lose anyway. You know, you get like I'll give you a little bit of ground to take a victory lap in District 3 because you finally won it and you should have been winning it for years just because of the way the election format was. But the city is a left-leaning city, and there is no giant swath of Republicans in the city of Knoxville that just isn't bothering voting in city elections. Like I think it was on this post. Randy Pace was talking about how apparently all these loony leftists are going door knocking and saying these are nonpartisan races, and anybody who says they're a Republican or Democrat, it's not how it works here, or something like that. And so you can't, anybody who says vote for the Republican on the thing is trying to lie to you, and it's like this. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, it's true they are nonpartisan races, but I don't know. I'm
sure they kind of make it known at least in their flyers.
But the other side to me is, and I actually did some research on this, and unfortunately, in a couple of years ago, Eric moved out of the city limits into Knox County, and so I can't give him let me give you the phone number for who you can call to complain to. It's called 1-800-U-Haul. Get the fuck out if you don't like the way the government works here. But I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I think we're going to see some shifting. I think 26 is going to be interesting. I don't think we're going to have any. I don't know. I'm going to have to see who the primary candidates are and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think Knox County is going to be as red as it's been long term.
I think so.
I do. I think Trumpism is doing its own damage to the Republican Party at large. But I think
I've heard a number of national figures have kind of been on this kind of tour, going state to state to kind of promote the BBB,
Big Beautiful Bill.
Yeah,
well, that's what they're supposed to do.
I've seen some have even stopped calling it by that, and they're like House Resolution 1, HR 1, because there has been some, I guess, ill feelings towards it amongst the GOP.
But I think like I said, I think there's some effect that I think MAGA Republicanism. I don't know. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see if we have a non-MAGA Republican run against Marsha and Mr. Rose, right?
Yeah.
To see who else, somebody, a more centrist, quote unquote, Republican who gets in on that gubernatorial race coming up, and see how that pans out. I'd be curious. Because I don't know, I think statewide we're still a super red state. I get that, but I just as the population, as the transition of all these new people that have moved into Knox County and start getting settled in, and they start getting active community wide. I don't it. It seems illogical. What's the biggest city in the country that's a Republican run city? I'm sure there's a threshold that it's mathematically accurate,
right?
Once a city passes 200,000, 300,000 people, what do you think the number is? It's got to be, maybe it's the 1 million mark, where it just kind of becomes the automatic blue city thing. I'm trying to think of a mayor of a major U.S. city that's a Republican.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that many mayors, but
yeah, I'm just saying, look, I don't know. I'm trying to think of how would I put this in the AI question.
Most populous city with
mayor? What city has a Republican mayor? What?
And is the most biggest?
Wait, large. There we go. What is the largest city that has a Republican mayor? Question mark. According to the Google AI, as of August 25, the largest city with a Republican mayor in the United States is Dallas, Texas.
That's pretty
Eric
big.
Johnson was a Democrat when he was elected, but announced the switch to the Republican Party in September. So, no, he was not elected as a Republican.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the estimated population of Dallas in 2024 was 1.3 million, ninth largest city in the country. All right, let me show you. It's the largest city that has a mayor elected as a Republican. If it says Dallas again, it's bullshit. As of August 2025, Fort Worth, Texas is the largest city with a Republican mayor. Mayor Matty Parker was first elected in 2021 and was reelected in 2025. Fort Worth, Texas has about 1 million people. So I think for generic conversation's sake, the million. I mean, I think I think Texas is an exemption from the rule because it's fucking Texas. You know what I mean? Like Texas is like super red, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, as red as Tennessee is, it ain't Texas. So I think at some point, I don't think Tennessee, I don't think Knoxville is going to last much longer as a Republican county.
I still think they've got some years ahead of them.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting because you're starting to see the demographic shifts. I think some of the stalwart people that vote every year are starting to die off. The old Republicans.
I guess the question is, has there ever been accusations of county district lines being quote-unquote gerrymandered?
Absolutely. Or not county lines. I mean, county lines are fixed, but they're absolutely
like the districts in the county.
The district, yeah. Have you looked at the district maps?
I mean, they always look wonky, no matter how you parse it.
I mean, like, city maps are gerrymandered, county maps are gerrymandered, sure. I mean, that was.
I mean,
state.
How many, I guess, quote unquote safe districts you say are in the county? That's why I kind of think that.
Well, it's the county-wide conversation. I think it's the more important one. I think district by district. I mean, you have you got District 1 with. Fuck! I need to pull up my county commissioners. I'm blanking out. District 1's Tommy Smith. No, Tommy City. Sorry, District 1's Larson, who's a Republican. I mean, I would, by the new standard of republicanism, I would agree with the Rhino statement. He's not a MAGA Republican. He's a more real old school Republican. 2 is Courtney Durrett, which is the worst county district, best county district. That's actually a good seat if you look at the map. It's the only county commission district that is 100% inside the city of Knoxville. Has no count. Has actual no. There are 0 county only residents.
Huh.
I'd have to pull. I'd have to look at it.
That's my only thoughts about it. At least sticking around for a while.
I think there's 3 Democrats on county commission right now. I think 3 of 9. But you have the 2 or 3 at-larges, and they're all Republicans.
Yeah.
Take the Republican take the at-larges out. There's only 6 districts. It's 3 and 3.
Right. And
that's up from years past. Because Shane Jackson, District 4, mine. He's a Democrat. And so it's up from it's up to take the. God, do they have 2 or 3? I think they have 2. If you take the at-larges out, it's 4-3 Republican. Put the at-larges in, it's 6-3.
Yeah.
And so it's, county-wide, yes. Whoever runs to replace Jacobs, Larson, Betsy Henderson right now are in the mix. That's the race. Like if you're I mean, I've talked to people about it. People have told me stories about friends that do it. If you're a left-leaning person in Knox County, you vote. If you want to do anything, you vote in the Republican primary in county races. Because your Democrat doesn't matter. I mean, you can vote for your Democrat once it gets past the primary.
Right.
But if there is a Democratic primary, it's not worth. It doesn't fucking matter. Whoever wins the Republican primary, especially if it's countywide race, is probably going to win the seat.
Didn't they pass something that precludes you from? I guess in the general, you're still open.
In general, they can't do shit. They can theoretically, it is theoretically illegal, and there's supposed to be signage. And it was a very small poster,
Yeah,
but it was there at the last election, and that was the. It is illegal. It is illegal for you to vote for vote in a primary for a party you're not affiliated with.
right.
Which I think the Republicans are being smart.
What if you're a registered independent? Does that null and void that?
You're in Tennessee. You're not registered anything.
That's true. Or if you're not, if you're independently affiliated.
I mean,
Does that preclude you from pulling technically? Does that pull?
I have broken the law in every election I've ever been to, because I've never
Allegedly.
I've never officially sworn my allegiance to a party in any way. And by state law, you should not vote in a primary if you're not a member of the party. And there are membership rules and things you have to do to be a member. And I've never done any of those things. And I would argue that hundreds of thousands of people well, maybe not hundreds of thousands, but many thousands of people in Knox County who would call themselves Republicans are by rule not, by their own admission. When I joked about Eric running me for mayor of Knox County, he's like, you can't run as a Republican because you voted in that one Democratic primary.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, but I can vote in a Republican primary. It's like, yeah. It's like, but I have to be a member to vote in the primary, but I have to be a member to run in the party, but I can't be a member of the party because I did that Democratic primary that one time. And it's like, yeah, because you can't stop you from the primary thing.
Yeah.
Which I'm good with it. I think you should close the primaries. I really do. Close the fucking primaries and see what happens. I think that's one of the few smart things that Republicans are doing in the state of Tennessee is leaving the primary open. Because I think if they close the primary, people would be very upset. They'd be very upset about not having access to it, having to register, being stuck in party affiliation stuff. And I think that would be a net negative for Republicans at large.
I would agree.
Because in certain places, they need the masses to do the electing. And if they disenfranchise them by shutting them out of primaries, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a special case, I guess. But I would think that if I went on primary day and they're like, well, you're not a party member, you can't vote in the primary, I'd have a real hard time voting for that, whoever won the primary afterwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, but I didn't pick this person. This might have been the person I was even going to pick, but I didn't pick this person. I'm not voting for them. Fuck that. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. I'm super mad at the whole thing, but I'm always mad about stuff. But anyway, Eric, you're crazy. I don't think the city of Knoxville has some secret cabal. Like, there's not some secret cabal keeping the mass of Republicans from voting. Because there's only two logical answers for it. Like, okay, just pretend for a second that he's right. That there are tons of Republicans that live in the city of Knoxville that want to vote for Republicans that for whatever reason aren't voting for Republicans. Eric, you're the Republican strategist. It's your job to get them out to vote for your candidates, and you're failing at it miserably.
It's because they're in cahoots with all the local media outlets.
Right.
With Tegna and Sinclair.
So it's either you suck at your job because that's your main source of income as a political consultant, which I don't think he does. I think he's very good at his job. So, but it's either you suck at your job or they're not there. That's the only two possible realities that's going on here.
They're just letting the Dems outplay him, winning at their own game.
Right.
Beating him at his own corrupt game.
I mean, I get it though. Like, it's one of those, why are all major cities Democrat? Why are they run by Democrats? Because when you live on top of each other, your want and need to be more involved in how things are working and what is and isn't allowed is higher on your priority list than if you live out in the middle of nowhere and you may not see neighbors for days. Your want for government to be involved in keeping your neighbor in check because you don't want this, that, or the other in your life is much higher when your neighbor's 10 feet away as opposed to a mile away.
That's been one theory.
what other theories are there?
We've talked about it a number of times. I don't think there's any one clear or one predominant answer.
I think it's all of it though, because I think you see it. You see the things that government could be doing more when you're in and around more people than when you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's more of a sense of, I guess, semi-collectivism.
Right. It goes to shift topics, it goes to the Chilhowee Park thing.
Right.
Like, some random rural county selling off a little chunk of public land that doesn't get used that much. It's much less likely for people to really give a shit about it because they don't use it. Nobody uses it. But I don't know. This one's. I don't understand what this one is. Like, I really don't get what everybody's bent out of shape about. I really don't understand it. Like, the process sucked. Agreed. The city screwed the pooch. They didn't do a good job doing the public outreach, doing the prep for this process. But at the end of the day, so I text, just kind of joking around, I text Lauren Ryder. I was like, hey, just sell it. Not that my opinion matters. I'm not a resident. But for what it's worth, sell all of it. And she's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, Chilhowee Park, the Midway specifically. And she's like, well, how would you feel if they sold Rocky Hill ball fields to Emerald to build a facility? And my initial thing was like, oh, that would suck. And I thought of it, I was like, no, the city does not bother with maintaining Rocky Hill ball fields. They don't keep it up. They don't keep security in place. They don't keep the fields good and manageable. All the dugouts are falling down. The press boxes are full of bums and they're trash. It's just turning into shit. At this point right now, if Emerald came out and said, hey, we want to build a big fancy complex in here that we're going to use and we're going to have people here and all this stuff that goes on. Because you've seen their different facilities. They're very nice.
Can't say I have.
They're big. The one I see more often than not is the one right off of campus. It's by the old Witt lumber facility.
Was that Emerald, the big, huge soccer complex?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an Emerald Youth Foundation complex. They've got a handful around. Anyway, they do good stuff. They make it nice, and they keep it generally open. They let people come use it if they don't have anything going on that's inside their programming.
Right.
Like, they don't lock it down and, nobody's allowed in here. But they also keep it nice, and they keep people off of it who aren't supposed to be there. And when, they don't let it get all grody. Rocky Hill Ballfields is grody. That's my technical term I'm working with, grody. It just is. And it's she put that to me, and I think she was like, yeah, but you wouldn't like if we did that to Rocky Hill. And it's like, my gut reaction is you're right. But after brewing on it for a second, no, I think I would be okay with it at this point. If the city doesn't have the resources to keep the ball field up, and maybe the better version of it, that stupid quiz you had me take, not quiz, but survey. The city put out the survey about parks and stuff like that. The conclusion from the survey, because the one that I ended up taking was their follow-up survey. Mm-hmm. The conclusion from their first survey is you want more out of your parks. Well, what does more mean realistically? It means money. Whether it's more things in the park to do, more activities in the park that are going on that you can participate in, all those things take money to do.
Right.
The city's already floating this new sales tax thing, and they're talking about fixing some parks and doing some stuff in some parks, but they're not talking about programming for parks to get more activities going on, more events in your parks. That's not what this extra money is going to go for. So the assumption I have in the conversation is there is a set of parks that they put more interest and investment in, Lakeshore being one, Victor Ashe Park. Yeah. Being another one. There's a couple of different parks that they do a lot of stuff that the city injects a lot of energy into, and the private side and nonprofits are doing events in those parks more than some of these other ones.
All right, so I think part of that's kind of like a secular thing, to where you've got more things going on at that park, so the city sees that being used more,
sure.
So they're going to put more money.
Right, whatever it is.
Right.
But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, I don't know when the last time I heard a ball game going on up there. Usually we can hear them. Mm-hmm. If Bearden's playing football at home, I can hear them from here. I can't hear West, but I go to West, but whatever. I can hear Bearden High School. But, I can usually hear baseball games, and even, there's some adult, kickball leagues and shit like that play up there sometimes. I don't remember the last time I heard one. I don't remember the last time, going up there with the dog periodically. There's not a lot going on up there.
Well, I think they just do baseball and softball there, right?
kickball. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't even know how youth.
I don't know when the seasons are.
I don't know how youth baseball works anymore. And I don't know what facilities that does the city of Knoxville have a junior baseball league? Or is it private companies?
What is it? KWS, like Knox Youth Sports? I think their little office and headquarters is down there at Lakeshore. So I think a lot of their league is done at Lakeshore.
Like, I know, like, I don't know. Like, that's the question. Like,
I don't know who ran the Rocky Hill ball leagues. They may have had their own kind of semi-league.
I don't know what the deal is with, like, but I don't know where all these kids go play baseball. They play baseball. They don't seem to play at Rocky Hill much anymore.
So I think locally they'll play down at Lakeshore.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, they're not getting used.
Right.
And what's happening because they're not getting used by the, like, because at the end of the day, this is how, my interpretation, how parks get funded and paid attention to is parents go up there with their kids to play whatever the thing is that they're playing at the park, whether it's soccer or baseball or whatever, and it looks like shit, or there's bums running around or something like that, and those parents complain, and then the city does something about it. Well, there's nothing going on.
Well, they may not complain. They may just pull their kids out.
Right, whatever. But either way, but like chicken or egg, but like either way, if the parents complain, then the city puts effort in. Well, if they're not doing anything, there's no parents there to complain. So the city doesn't know they need to do anything, and so they just think it's just a great park where you can go play. It's like, no, it's not. The freaking playground is falling apart. The one little tiny playground they have is falling apart. The only thing the city has done at Rocky Hill, as far as I know, in the last 10 years since I've lived here, is they tore down the bleachers and replaced them with aluminum bleachers.
Yeah.
Because people were making houses out of their old concrete bleachers. That's all they've done. They cut the grass every once in a while. They trim back the trees when they get overgrown. That's it. And there's not a lot of activity that goes on out there. And so it's like, yes, Lauren, at this point, if the city is not going to utilize the park, then get it off the books. Put somebody in there that's going to utilize it. I don't care. Put a big fucking apartment complex in there. That would suck. I would hate the traffic. But do something. You can't. I mean, city charter won't let them sell it to a residential complex anyway. But sell it to Emerald Youth. I would take it. I would take it in a heartbeat. I'm going to call Emerald Youth on Monday. Like, hey.
You guys looking for a park?
Screw the Chilhowee Park shit. Just do, like, it's already prepped. You just got to clean it up and renew it. It's like, I don't know.
The good bones are still there.
I mean, there's a whole extra lot that's off the side street that's property of the park.
I haven't been over there in a while.
It's weird. There's just I feel like it used to be like where they put all the dirt and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so they had a storage area for dirt and whatever over there, and so they bring fresh dirt out and they cross the street right there. But anyway, I don't know. Like, that's my take on the Chilhowee thing. It's like, the important underlying factor that needs to be made is Chilhowee Park is not a park. It is a venue that is owned by the city of Knoxville. That is fact one that people need to get through their heads. The word park is a misnomer. Just accept
it has a big parking lot.
Right. It's also called Covenant Health Park. It's a baseball stadium. The baseball stadium is called Covenant Park.
Right.
And it is open to the public for certain parts of the day or whatever, but, it's a venue that the city owns. That's what it is. It's a venue the city owns. It's not a park. It's not a play facility. It's not an outdoors adventure facility. It's a venue, and that's what it is. So if you take that fact and just own that fact first, and then have the conversation, could it be turned into a park? Yes, especially that section across the street on the south side of it. It is built like a park, and it could be converted to. But the one thing that just gets through my head every time I hear people complain about it, it's like the city doesn't do the parks that don't have interest for whatever reason, that don't have organizations that do events there regularly, that put a lot of energy and effort into those into those facilities. The city doesn't put a lot of energy behind them either. So, like my Rocky Hill Park here, there's not a lot going on. The city doesn't put a lot into it. Well, unless you have an organization that's going to use the area that is in question, if we convert it to a normal park, unless you have a lot of people using it regularly, it's going to just fall into disrepair and get gross and not get paid attention to. And then you're going to complain about that. Emerald's going to do it. They're going to own it. They're spend about $1 million on it, which is undervalued to me. But they're going to spend $1 million to buy it, and then another $100 and something million to get it all built up and make it all pretty and all fake grass fields and whatever they're going to do. But it's going to get used, and people are going to use it, and people are going to come down, and they're going to host events there, and those hosted events there are going to bring people in, and they're going to go eat at the places nearby, and they're going to go. They're probably not. I don't know if there's any hotels over there anyway, but they're going to. It's going. I don't know. Then it gets into the gentrification thing, and then we're lost on that rabbit hole.
Did they do a lot of events at, I guess, the ones that they have that you know of?
What?
Emerald Youth, I guess, facilities.
I mean, they're
trying to think what kind of events they'd host. I mean,
they have large, and I think that might be a chicken or the egg thing that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
They have large groups of competitive sport, like semi-competitive sport stuff in soccer and baseball and basketball. And so instead of it being like a city youth basketball program, it's Emerald Youth basketball program, and they use their facilities.
I was thinking of events outside of, I guess, their.
I mean, they do
their normal
they
quote
do,
unquote league.
They do stuff that's open to the public. That I mean, anybody can join and partake in. Like they are a faith-based organization, but you don't have. There's no proof of faith to join. So, like if they have a soccer program that they're putting together, and your kid hits the age profile or whatever, you can join. And stuff like that. But then, and also like the other facility they have that's just up the street, is like if they don't have something going on, you can use it. Like me and you want to go down there and throw the frisbee, and just throw frisbee on one of their soccer fields. Mm-hmm. If they don't have anything going on, we can just go. Like if there's an event, if there's a game scheduled, we can throw the frisbee until the team show up, and then they're like, "Hey, we got a thing, get out of here."
I was thinking of like true like special events.
No,
because I definitely don't have my ear to the ground, but that's what I was thinking when you said like special events.
No, well, that's what Chilhowee is built for. Chilhowee is built for special events only.
Right.
But what the Midway, the other side of Chilhowee, that was, I mean, no. Like there's been a couple, there's been some, like me and the kids went to, it was like an Asian festival, it was an Asian Lantern Festival. It was kind of neat, it was fun. And it was on that side of Chilhowee instead of in the main lot.
Is the Midway one? Is that the one that has like the small, like little, what do you call it? Like a little track, like a drag race track, like just as we get off the interstate.
That's not
part of Chilhowee.
The Midway, it is part of Chilhowee Park, but the Midway is the part on the other side of Magnolia. So when you come in off the interstate and go down, there's the little weird track thing that you're talking about, and there's the stables that they do the animal shows in,
right?
And then you curve around that, and you can either go into the main zoo parking lot, or you go to the excess parking lot on the bottom.
All right.
Right. And so you get down there on the bottom, that main lot, that big lot is where they do Tennessee Valley Fair. Part of that is back in the stables. And then from that main lot on the one side of it is the Jacobs building, which they've already agreed to. That's already passed. They're leasing to the Muse. The Muse is going to move over there. There's a weird pond thing with a fountain in it. And there's a gazebo that apparently was the bandstand from like the 20s. And then there's the old Muse building, and then there's a tunnel that goes under Magnolia, and that is the Midway on the other side of Magnolia.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And it's mostly parking lot, and there's a couple of like covered picnic table areas and stuff like that. There's a little bit of grassland, like grassy areas and stuff like that. But it's mostly a parking lot. Like the most it gets used is 10, 15 days a year. When the fair is here in a couple weeks, that's where all the carnies trailers are, where they live for the couple of weeks while the fair's going on.
Right.
Like all the trucks and all the excess, like once they set all the stands up and all the different rides and all that kind of shit up, all the trucks go park over there. All their campers that they bring along with them, they go over there. That's the most outside of those 10, 12 days or whatever that the fair is there, and the only reason it's used during the fair is for excess stuff for the staff, basically. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, there's maybe one or two events a year, but I don't know when. I think it's been a couple of years since the last event.
We were going to a car show there back in high school because we were taking auto mechanics, and we got to make like a special trip.
On the Chilhowee side, on the main park, or across Magnolia.
I want to say the big main parking lot there at the park was part of it. And then it was also a little bit along like Magnolia or somewhere around. I'm trying to remember where all they had different cars at.
I mean, it's perfectly reasonable that they would have had them over there.
Yeah.
It would have been a good spot the way that's set up. And so again, it's one of those like to me, and to pat myself on the back for my special events coordination history or something like that, I wouldn't host an event there. I don't have I don't know the kind of event that I would like. If somebody came to me and said, "Let's host an event," I'm like, "Okay, I've done this. I know how to do this. What do you want to do?" My very low on my list of thoughts of public spaces to use for the event would be Chilhowee. Like, I mean, really, like if it's me, like if it's somebody with a fair type of thing, I would go to do the West Town Mall ones.
Yeah.
You know, again, this is a profit rearing enterprise. Like, presumably, I mean, even the Tennessee Valley Fair is a profit rearing enterprise.
I mean, if you could just rent that big parking lot, you could probably put on some cool shit there and have all the parking literally right there next to it.
You could, but you could do a similar event at a different place and do just as well or not better.
I mean, I think there's enough grade to it. You could probably do your soapbox derby there.
Nah.
Oh,
I mean, it would be cool. It would be a fun one to do it from like out of the zoo, like out of the front, like the starting line's up at the top of the zoo, and you come down the zoo parking lot and then you turn down that hill. That'd be a fucking serious track.
It'd be dangerous.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good call. You're right.
Because it's a while before it really flattens out at all.
But that one's not going anywhere. So I mean, that part's not going anywhere. So if I want to, if the derby outgrows Central,
yeah,
all right, I'm in. We'll talk about it, but that one's not going anywhere for a while. I mean, I think like the zoo, like I don't think the zoo will let that go. And the zoo is a city property, in and of itself. I think the parking lot's important for the zoo. I think the parking lot will be important for Emerald Youth.
Yeah,
you know, when they're holding events there, it'll be important for them to have access to that parking lot for their events. The Muse will want that parking lot to stay. I don't think the parking lot's going anywhere, and that's part of the thing too. I think one of the things I think people have this image in their mind of what you're talking about, the parking lot, the main area where everything actually happens in Chilhowee Park, is what they're getting rid of. And they're not. Like I said, there hasn't been much that's happened there in years. Like of a calendar year outside of the fair, maybe 5 days, 10 days tops, it's been used. And I don't even think I think that's a way overestimate.
Yeah, very possibly.
So, alas.
So we have a number of other spaces that if any kind of like outside of like the county itself kind of entity wants to come and put a thing on, like I said, it's not high on their list of places. You choose World's Fair Park. We've got the convention centers.
Right.
You've got the expo center. And
again, it's one of those what do you want as a community, as a subset of the community? And again, we go back into the gentrification argument. Like that's really all this. That's all this is. This is an anti-gentrification argument. Is we don't want outside coming in and taking over our neighborhood. It's like I understand that 100%, but we want our neighborhood to be nicer.
And what's the closest other park to that?
There's a bunch of parks down in there.
Is it?
And again, don't say park. Park is not the right word. There's not a public.
Well, I mean, like the true definition of a park. Like how many other parks? But
you can't say other. Is my point. It's not a park. There is no there is actually a small playground, but that's actually over by where the old Muse was, where the Muse is. Over by the pond and shit. There's a little park.
Yeah.
You know, but like as far as a park, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Austin East has Austin East Magnet School, whatever the elementary middle school is. Beaumont, I think's over there.
Yeah.
That's a weird one. Like, I mean, that's public property. Is that open to the public when school's not in?
Don't believe so.
We used to.
I don't think there's a park over there. The last time I drove by it,
we used to do it at Rocky Hill.
They got a pretty nice stadium over there, Austin East.
Well, it's a high school. They don't have a playground, of course.
Right. I can't think of many other parks around that.
I don't know the neighborhood very well. And again, like I'm not opposed to that part of it, but it's just like I don't know. You don't want outside money coming in. You want the city to do it all by itself. The city doesn't have the funding to do it. This is a way for the city to take in a little bit of quick cash and get this thing off the books so they don't have to worry about it anymore. And it's going to be nice because Emerald does nice stuff. It seems like a win-win to me. Again, not excusing their failed communication running up to it. Although I still will go back to my argument from last week.
I was about to say, I was like, that wasn't your argument last week.
No, they screwed up the tail end of it here because, like, again, like coming up the sale portion of it coming up with even counselors not knowing the sale was happening until it showed up on their agenda.
All right,
like that was a failed communication thing. But yeah, I'll still argue that the time to have this conversation was a year ago when they were putting out requests for proposals. But I don't know.
Alas.
City primary covered that. There is American Cannon has spun up a PAC, for lack of a better word, to go out there and be the advocates for talking people into voting for the sales tax increase. Mike Cohen, I think was his name. Scott had came in, sat in on the podcast with us. Both he feels pretty confident that the city residents are not going to vote for a tax increase.
Huh.
Which I find, I don't know. Which gives a little bit of weight to Eric's idea. I don't know. Like that's the other part of Eric's idea. Going back to that part of it, like Eric thinks that there's going to be a significant sum of people that come out to vote against the tax increase, and those people are going to then vote for his Republicans.
Well, that's very possible.
I mean,
I think most people don't not really thinking about it, hear about a tax increase and they're like, no.
Right. I think Democrats think the same thing too.
Right.
Like you've got to really and again, I think it tied. To be fair, I think it ties the two things together. It ties the Chilhowee Park situation together. Is that they did not do a good job rolling out the information on this.
Right.
Because I'll still argue their website's bullshit. All right, Rowdy likes the website. I'm sorry, buddy. Jeez, my bad, bro.
It's like talk shit about my parks.
I got I had my monthly Department of Labor and Statistics call today, and I took the opportunity to talk to her. I was like, "Hey, since I got you, how's the new boss?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Shit, nothing changed for us. We're exactly the same."
Right. I'd say people at that level, yeah, they're like.
But I did ask, and it was actually. I wish I had I thought of it, and I'm good at sucking at this one. Had I thought of it, I would have recorded it, and not, I could have kept the particular person off the identity secret if I wanted to, but I should have recorded it because it's interesting in that she was talking about how exciting the job ended up being during the pandemic. Like, it's a weird, mundane job. Like, realistically, you just call people and ask them a handful of questions, and you load it in the system, and then they compile the system. It's exactly what I thought it was, at least from her perspective. And she's a low-level person, obviously, but from her perspective, the majority of what they do. So they have different offices around the country. Apparently, the Chicago office does all the big companies, but it's the same set of questions. So it's like the Chicago office will call Walmart, and Walmart HR will have a report that they give to the bureau that says we have this many employees, this many of them are female, total hours, total payroll.
Right.
But they have all these different offices around the country that do all this kind of shit, but that's the majority of the point. Like, the point is that the survey that I do is the survey that they put their jobs report out on. And she's like, one thing that people don't really understand is that once we have a set list. This means paraphrasing her but once we have a set list of who we're contacting, it has to be in the report. And so let's say she calls me and I'm on vacation and I don't answer, but it's due by the end of the month. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not obliged to. It doesn't. I don't go to jail if I don't do it.
It's a little voluntary thing you're doing.
Right, but like, her job is to make sure she gets it, and if she can't get it by the end of the month, they will run the report without us, but then do an update later mid-month where they take the initial report and then any late entries, and they'll have the mid-month report from it.
Factor it back in or whatever.
Yeah,
because they keep. I'm assuming that's all public knowledge. Like, you can go to the website and look up.
Yeah,
right.
And so, like, at least her interpretation of it, that doesn't matter who the boss is. It's the same. It's the same job, no matter what's going on. So, I don't know. It's just, I was like, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting being. It is very interesting, and this is not. I wasn't blowing smoke at her. It's like, it's very interesting to see the stories and read the news on this topic, and actually be a part of it instead of just being third party and not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
But so anyway, it was fun. I have however many female employees and however many supervisors. That's really all they ask. It's total employees, how many of them are girls, how many of them are supervisory role, total payroll, total hours worked.
Yeah.
So they basically figure out the hourly wage that our hourly average, but they run that into everybody. So what the hourly average is across the country. Which I guess the algorithmic question is, how do they adjust for region? Because different places have different, like, $15 an hour here is totally different than $15 an hour in New York.
I think they've got an equation for it. I mean, they know the average wages in each city, the median wage of each state, and probably of major cities and whatnot.
Yeah. And it's just an interesting little tidbit.
Right.
Do you have anything special for Labor Day?
No.
I got a football game.
Whoa.
Schools are closed, but we still got to play football.
On Monday?
Mm-hmm. Monday morning. Kickoff's at 10 a.m.
Funky.
Yeah.
Go have some dew out there.
Yeah, whatever. At least
the weather would be cooler, though.
Last I saw it, the West Rebels are getting their ass kicked by the Maryville Rebels. It was 21-0 at halftime, I think.
Rebs duking it out on the gridiron.
So my Rebels, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if our Rebels get angry and send some kids that aren't really part of the JV team to go play JV to beat up on the JV other Rebels team to feel better about their getting their own ass kicked.
Hopefully the new coach wouldn't do that.
It's real confusing rebel business. There's too many rebels. There's two. Apparently Loudoun County is the Chiefs or the Cherokees or something. Or Lenore City, one of the two.
Couldn't tell you.
Well, how did you get outside?
So you went around.
Went around where?
Upstairs. On another exit.
Yeah, but that door's never open.
Maybe somebody let him out up there. Magic.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gotten good at unlocking the door.
That scares the crap out of me.
Or it could have been, just slightly ajar, and he was like, huh.
Yeah, that sounds more like him.
Yeah.
Oh, but 41-7. Oh, shit. It's bad. It's real bad. I'm glad we didn't go. I would have been very...
Probably would have left by now like, all right, let's call this a game.
Yeah. Like, let's go home.
Did see Blackburn apparently got a death threat recently. I think they arrested the person.
Oh. That sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that's not... I always assume that's not irregular for... Once you get to a certain profile. Yeah.
Right. I did see one article that was talking about, I guess, ever since the Luigi case, that it's apparently spurred some followers. I think it even said that he has started a website, and he'll post the positive letters he's been getting or whatever, which I wouldn't think that you could run your own website from behind bars, but I don't know what his technological access is. One of those things, I guess if you've got free time to do that, and you have computer access, they can't really say, no, you can't do this or that. But
I mean, I would think that, but I mean, to run a website, you got to at least have some funding and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't really know. He was pretty wealthy, I think, before all this happened, or had a really good job. I don't know how much medical bills kind of wiped some of that out, but yeah, I think he had a pretty high paying job and was doing well enough for himself for his age.
Have you seen Bill Burr on him?
Remember months ago when he first started talking
He's
about
been it. He's done a couple major, he was on not Letterman, but Colbert or
one of the
Fallon or one of them, just kind of joking about just in the middle of joking about some other stuff. It's Free Luigi.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that clip. I thought that was months ago, yeah.
But still, it's I don't, that's I don't know. I don't think assassinating somebody is a good idea ever anyway. But at the same time,
apparently they've seen, I guess, a rise in that kind of sentiment of, instead of having to talk about something, people are kind of resorting to, or being more so okay with, violence being an answer.
I think that's, I think the how do I word this? The solution is be better. And I don't see anybody being better yet. And so I'm not advocating for people to do anything terrible or illegal, but at the same time, it's like push comes to shove. People are going to start pushing back, or people have started pushing back. And there's got to be some recourse on the top end. You can arrest them all day long. You can put them in jail all day long. But that's not going to fix people feeling this way.
Right.
It's not going to stop people. Like, I mean, fuck it. Like, there's a there's a line somewhere where people are just like, where fuck it makes sense. And I think there's a lot of people that feel like that line has been crossed, and they're at the fuck it point. And you're not going to fix that by arresting them.
There's a level of like helplessness in certain areas of like, especially, trying to, I guess, kind of what he did was, trying to push back against, one of the largest healthcare providers. And was like, I can write, letters to HR or whatever all the time, but it's not going to go anywhere.
Right. That's what I'm saying, though. Is that
that's like, oh, cool, another letter of somebody that got screwed over by us. Like, oh well.
Yep.
We're still making our billions.
That goes into file 11.
Right.
I think it's bin 13, whatever it is, whichever one goes to the shredder fastest. I don't remember.
Okay.
File 11 is always the joke. That was always I don't remember who taught me that, but that was the joke from one of the managers I worked for once, where you get an application, like, cause you were required by law to keep an application for a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if that's part of like, I assume it's part of the unemployment stuff.
Yeah.
Because certain levels of unemployment, you're required to be looking for jobs to keep getting.
So at least they have applied to a number.
And so they can, when they come in and say, well, I applied for 13 jobs this week. And they're like, where? And they give them the list, and then they'll go ask for their application.
Yeah.
And so you have to keep an application for a certain amount of time. But like the joke was from this manager many years ago, was like, that one goes in file 11, which is, we're not looking at it again. We're not allowed to put it in the trash, but that's going to be the trash.
Eventually. Yeah.
Eventually.
Once we're not mandated to.
Right. So it just goes in there and sits, and, like I've got I've got files of like that kind of crap that we keep around. Like, I don't know what the rules are anymore. I just keep it all.
Right.
Like, we've got like credit card slips is one, like the actual like slip that you sign.
Right.
I think it's 3 years.
Wow.
I've got 12 years of them.
It's a lot of space.
And it's like, but like IRS, like the IRS is another one. Like, you can go back 10 years on a lot of shit for the IRS.
Yeah. And
so it's like, you want to audit me? Okay, let's go get the box out.
So yeah, I think 10 years is right around the audit length of.
Right. You want to go audit me from 2017? All right. Here's my business files.
Yeah, I've got my W-2s going back pretty far, or far enough for what I think would be required.
The one nice thing that I have is that having an accountant, they have them all digitized. Right. So like, hey, can I get my 2017 tax return?
Sure.
Yep. 15 minutes later. Yeah, as long as they're in the office, I usually get it pretty quick.
See attached.
Yeah, it's handy to have. But I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Like, what is his deal? So I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do with I don't know what to do with the city government at this point. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to, like, again, like, people need to get engaged in the first place. Like, you need to be engaged in part of the process in the first place. Like, you can't do this with Chilhowee Park. You can have more people show up to protest the sale of a public piece of property than voted.
Right.
Like, I don't know, that's not fair. Like, I think the total in the large assembly room is like 500 if it's packed. But still, that's 25-30% of the voting population. How many of the people in that room actually voted for any of the people standing up there? And to be fair,
hopefully at least 60, 70%.
To be fair, I've talked to a lot of these different people over time, and they'll listen to me, and I don't think it's because of the podcast. Maybe it is. But they have one to listen, and they have one to pay attention, and they seem to want to engage at some level. But, I don't know how, I don't know. Democracy is dirty sometimes, and so you gotta be in the dirt if you want to play the game.
To an extent, sadly. Should have a large enough business interest in it or monetary influence.
Well, I mean, right. Well, that's the thing is like people get mad about those players, and it's like, well, they pay attention. They do have monetary, and that gets dirty. I don't disagree, but you also have, you have developers who show up at every city council meeting,
right?
Who
it behooves them,
right? Who goes and campaign and go and support campaigns and stuff like that. And as part of that buys face. And I heard from a developer guy that I was talking to the other day. He's like, when I donate to a campaign, I don't just send it in through the website. I don't hand it to some surrogate or whatever. I sit down with the candidate and I hand them the check because I want them to at least know who I am.
Right.
And that's the long and short of it. And it's not that the money gets them to know who I am. It's that I get the money at least gets me to sit down, I guess, is really what it is.
Sure.
Hey, I've got money for your campaign. Come have lunch with me. It's like, well, hey, try it. Random candidate, come have lunch with me.
Right.
It's like, well, I can't have lunch with everybody. Well, come talk to our neighborhood association. Come talk to this group over here. Come field questions from us. Okay. What do you want to know? I think most candidates will do that because most candidates, especially in the city race, since there's so few people that bother to vote, the more people they get in front of them, the better their chances are.
Better true.
If you weren't going to vote for me anyway, what's it matter? But if you're on the fence and you want to come see me talk to your neighborhood, all right, gives me a chance.
Right.
So
you tell your friends.
Trying to think of what else is going on. That's about. I mean, that covered the local shias.
See, the Whataburger opened up on campus.
Yay!
Yeah. I think I saw it was open 24 hours. I was like, that's crazy.
Do it.
I mean, it's not unsurprising, I guess, for a burger joint down on the strip, but I've liked them whenever I've gone to them. I mean, it's still fast food, but it's a decent burger.
I'll make the occasion at some point and try it.
I've driven down the strip occasionally whenever I've been downtown just to see how different it looks, but I wouldn't know where the fuck to park anymore.
Yeah, it's a weird place to be.
So I think they said it's close to the Commons on that side of Cumberland. I could be wrong.
No idea.
I was surprised it opened. I thought they had announced it. I didn't realize it was ready to open up, weeks away. But supposed to put another one in, I think they said Powell and Turkey Creek sometime this year.
When's the last time you went to Cracker Barrel?
6 to 9 months, maybe.
Well, the logo's going back to the one you're used to, so
I did see that. I don't get what the big deal's about. A couple stories I saw, they talked about it being I guess there was some conservative commentators who were talking about it being all woke and stuff, and it's I don't think that's what it was. I don't know why they're getting all bent out of shape that they changed the logo.
I mean,
they're taking the old man away.
Yeah.
And it's well, how many fucking companies changed their logos?
Look around. Just look around at logos. Logos have simplified over the years.
Even when they get it changed drastically, but it's still the same color, same font. They just took the old man off and the barrel.
Yeah. Which is
and they were talking about redesigning their stores to an extent.
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like if you look around in the last couple decades, logos have simplified a lot.
Yeah, I noticed. I thought I saw a story that talked about McDonald's taking the arches off some of their logos, but I think it's still part of their logo.
I don't know.
Maybe it's less so the golden arches. I know they're on the paper bags. They're red arches or whatever.
I don't know, but it's like Burger King, BK.
Yeah.
They go it's not it used to be the burger. It used to be a burger with Burger King written as the meat and cheese patties or whatever.
Right.
But now it's just BK. That's normal. Baskin Robbins is the BR, the big BR. Krispy Kreme is a KK.
Was it Dunkin' Donuts just became DD or whatever?
Yeah, that's been.
But now it's just Dunkin's. They dropped the donuts, I think.
Yeah, but that's been a trend in branding, is to simplify the brand.
Right.
And so Cracker Barrel tried to do it, and I guess because it's a country thing, them doing it was woke. Well, I guess everybody doing it was woke, but that one was special, and they had to do it. Waffle House has always been generic.
Right.
Waffle House has been as bland as it's for forever. My favorite national story of the week, though, has got to be Trump's health conversation?
I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, like apparently he's got big swollen ass ankles.
Oh, yeah, I saw that come out a couple.
His hands have been bruised a lot.
Saw that a couple weeks ago. I think I saw some story that like Alex Jones says he's like getting ready to die or something like that.
He's worried he's got like 9 months left.
That's what it was. Yeah, he's only got 6 months left.
Which I mean, I don't know. I mean, like I will acknowledge 1,000% that Trump is the only president that I think I've ever in my lifetime who didn't look like he aged significantly in his first term.
I mean, there's no telling what he looks like under all that spray paint.
Yeah, but he's always been under all that spray paint.
To an extent, it's gotten a little heavier, or maybe it's just the high definition cameras.
Maybe, but I'm just saying, like Obama, like aged 30 years in 8.
Nah, not that much.
He aged a lot.
Right. Well, they always do the pictures of presidents, kind of like the beginning and the end of their presidency, and they're usually gray.
Which is, I mean, it's understandable. It's a high-stress job. You don't sleep a lot. You got a whole lot of things going on.
And they're around the age that men typically get grayer and grayer anyway.
You know, and
kind of
so
hit that cliff.
Trump in his first term came out pretty clean, but it certainly seems like it's hitting him harder this time. The hand bruise is my favorite one.
Yeah, I remember seeing some pictures of that.
And it's like, well, like the press secretary talking about like it's consistent with firm handshakes, like talking about like it's like, and I mean,
his hand too hard.
Like people, I don't know, like you got to bring your A game to the handshake if you're shaking the president of the United States' hand. That seems fair.
Sure. No, he's got such small hands, maybe. Everybody's just crushing his hands.
Well, it was Trudeau or whatever. He almost knocked over like first term. He like grabbed him and pulled him in real hard, and then Trudeau did it back to him a couple months ago or something like that.
I saw something about it was when Trump went and saw like Newsom.
Maybe
that apparently like Trump tried to pull him in, but Newsom was able to like pull him towards him.
Yeah,
it's like I knew he was about to try to fuck with me, so I was showed that I'm bigger and stronger.
But yeah, I thought like I don't know. I mean, this is what happens when somehow the machine kicks out a 80-year-old and an 80-year-old, and that's who we get to vote for.
Yeah,
you know, like this is. I will go back to my last week mode, and it's like this is your fault. This is my fault. This is our fault as a society. We did this to ourselves.
Bernie's looked about the same for the past like 20 years.
Bernie has held pretty strong, but he's got that low key chill to him.
I think he's also one of those people that probably like went gray early, and this is just kind of like remain gray white hair.
Yeah. I like the what was it? The inauguration. Him and the mittens photo. That was.
Oh yeah.
One of the best memes in recent history. Semi-recent history, I guess it's pretty old now.
Right.
Bernie Sanders. I don't know. I ain't mad at that guy. I'm glad he exists. I'll say it that way. What else is going on?
I don't think I saw anything else major locally. You're talking about a survey. I think I did see a story earlier that Knox County Schools put out a survey for parents and students that could chime in on kind of programs they'd like to see, et cetera, of kind of looking forward in the next 5-10 years or whatever.
Go ahead.
As far as more kind of like STEM academies, if they'd be interested in that, or more language arts, et cetera.
I have a complaint on the topic. So our open house or whatever at the high school was this week.
Mm-hmm.
And the freshman academy is just kind of a single class that they do all year. Life skills kind of stuff is general, whatever, but it's also exploring the different academies that high school has and which one's more appealing to you. It's kind of that kind of thing. That's the idea of the freshman academy course. And so I'm in there and I'm like, what are the West academies? I don't know. That was the answer I got from his freshman academy teacher.
It's not encouraging.
And then I had another thought in that same conversation because they were talking about the different stuff they get to do. And I mean, it's some of it's pretty cool stuff. They get to do like a field trip. Like they don't know what it is. They haven't figured out what it is yet for his class at least. But they'll go to different. Like it's some of the public-private partnership stuff where a business will be like, hey, you can bring a class in and we can show them what we do here at this place. Like Axel will do one or something like that.
Right.
And then then the other part is they bring in guest speakers and they'll come and talk to the class about what they do with their company or whatever it is. And they brought the Army recruiter from next door, since the National Guard base is right there.
Yeah, that's true.
And he talked to the class, and I left that. I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And I was thinking about it later on. I was like, they have all this shit where, as a parent, you're allowed to opt your kid out of stuff. You know, you can opt your kid out of sex ed or whatever.
Right.
Can I opt my kid out of propaganda army class?
Right.
Like, would that be a weird thing to ask for?
I don't think so.
I think people would look at me sideways if I asked for that.
It would get viewed under the. It would be kind of probably viewed as semi-unpatriotic, whatever. Like, what do you got against the Army?
I don't have anything against the Army. I have against the people that run it.
Right.
And I mean, I have a lot against like the premise of the recruitment system that they do. I have a lot of problems with that, and whether that's internal, like, where that comes from in the hierarchy of things, that is whatever armed force, doesn't really matter.
I mean, most high schools have some kind of like ROTC program.
Yeah, they do, and I have no issue. Like, I have no issue with it existing. I don't know. Like, it's a weird one. It's like I don't like. Yeah, I'm not big on. Like, we've already spent most of my kids' life propagandizing them on nationalism or whatever the fuck you want to call it, patriotism.
Right.
Maybe it's the nice way to say it. I don't need some guy coming in here telling them that, you know, they get a $30,000 signing bonus and, you know, free college when they get out. Like, I'm not okay with that. That's some scammy shit.
Yeah.
Because when you're 15, 16, 17 years old, 30 grand's a lot of money.
Right.
That's a whole lot of money. I mean, you might die. You might go get to see some shit that you will never get over for the rest of your fucking life. But hey, 30 grand, buddy. You can go buy a Mustang and get married, and then the fucking...
I'd say a majority never see any kind of action. Even when we were in multiple wars simultaneously.
Cool. That makes me feel better, I guess.
Just trying to use some perspective.
I mean, I've already joked at the house. Like, if you guys want to sign up, do the Air Force. Do the Space Force.
Coast Guard. You won't get much respect, but you get to play on the water.
And and you're less likely to die. That's the one that matters.
Go catch some drug traffickers running the.
Well, I mean, actually,
subs
the thing here in our house is like, if you want to, okay, you're going to college first. If you want to go, that's fine. You're going to college first. So then you at least go in as an officer. Like, that's kind of our rule on it. Like,
that's where it helps get into like ROTC earlier. I think a couple of people I knew that went through it, is it does kind of give you that leg up in a couple of ranks or whatever.
Yeah. Well, but out of high school, you're still enlisted. Out of college, you go in as an officer.
Okay.
You know, so if you go in with a degree, which, because it works both ways, the GI Bill works both ways. They can pay off your debt.
They'll do it retroactively or whatever.
Right. They can pay your college debt, or at least a portion of your college debt. Or they can pay for you to go to school after you get out.
Well, I think there's some benefits to that kind of thing. Like, I know I had a cousin that got more into like she's not really using it now, but when she was in the Air Force, she dealt more with like weather radars and stuff. I think she was at like an Air Force base. I mean, you could like she was monitoring that. I mean, there's lots of employment opportunities in the training that you can get.
Right, you can learn some awesome skills that can transfer into.
A lot of people in the automotive, they'll go in and be a mechanic.
Yeah,
get to work on some big, cool, heavy diesel and stuff.
Yeah, you get any of the aeronautical mechanic stuff. That's big money when you get out.
Oh yeah,
like you go work for a airline as a mechanic for Delta or whatever. You can make some serious money doing that on the other side. Again, I have no I don't know. I
was just trying to throw a little water on. They're like, oh, you can go off and get killed or whatever. Like most people don't actually see action for what it's worth.
For right now, at least.
Like I said, I think even during like the height of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars.
Right. I don't know. Maybe this is my paranoia as a parent at play or whatever, but I I feel more tenuous about another serious, something equating World War III than I see something closer to World War III on the horizon than another insurgent Afghan, Iraqi freedom, whatever bullshit kind of play.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean,
I think it's just as likely we would send a force into Canada or Greenland or Panama, which I think are still low anyway.
With the current administration, I could see those happening too. Well, I mean, like
I'm equating like the likelihood. I don't think they're likely, but
didn't we send a bunch of people down like Colombia or something like that recently?
I saw something about some warships getting sent down. Because I think I saw the president, I guess, put out a call to the people and actually had a pretty good response of people signing up to kind of help defend or start training to learn to defend. But yeah, I don't know if we sent some warships down. Or,
was it Colombia? Where was it?
I think it was Venezuela.
You know, like I don't know. Like I feel like with this is we can blame it on Trump. It doesn't really matter. I feel like we have more tenuous relationships in geopolitical affairs that could easily escalate to different violent scenarios here and there and everywhere.
I think the most likely may be some kind of incident in Taiwan. There are a lot of people say that, like, China's been saying for years that, or some even say within the next couple of years, that China's like gearing up basically for a land invasion. That they've been building a bunch of like troop carriers and whatnot.
Right. Which I don't know what the tactical defense we can do, how much we can actually tactically defend that, and how much we are functionally willing directly.
We've got a number of bases in the area. I don't think we could directly defend it. We would probably quickly send some kind of force to help out or whatever.
I don't know. None of it sounds fun.
Sure.
And the further my kids are away from that, the happier I'll be.
Yeah.
Hopefully the old one will get his knee blown out in playing football, and won't be allowed to go out in any.
Well, they might give him like a little robotic kneecap. He may be stronger than ever.
Won't have to go on any active military stuff. But I don't know. Like I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to.
No.
Like that is my biggest fear as a parent, that they're going to get sucked into some, because I did, but I was lazy.
Marines were the only ones that ever called me, and after graduation.
I don't know. I had a phase in my mid-20s where I was like, I fucked up. I should have gone. I should have enlisted somewhere.
Right.
Somebody was like,
"When you think back and like, I could have like been in and out by this point. Could have done my 4 years, gotten out."
Well, no, like, mine was like pure like fucking like battle fantasy shit. Like,
yeah.
I would have liked to have been in the trenches, and I would have liked to have had to work through the mental gymnastics of having killed somebody and that kind of shit. Like, I felt guilty that I didn't do my part like my dad did.
Right. I can understand that sentiment.
And so, like, I don't know. It's a thing. And, like, as much as I don't know. I'd rather try to talk my kid through feeling guilty about not doing than trying to talk him through having to deal with what he had to do, I guess, is my general take on that. I don't want more vets, period, whether it's my kid or not, but like the multitude of vets sucks, I guess is what I'm getting at. Because as much as you like to say that not many actually see any action stuff, I see a lot of people who have seen action in my day-to-day life.
Right.
Not just the couple that you know specifically, but I see a lot.
Yeah.
Some little old man that was in Vietnam I talked to randomly the other day. He loved it. It's like, that's also kind of creepy. Like, I'd go back. I'd give anything to go back to how it was now. It's like, what are you talking about, man? I don't get it. Like, I get the brotherhood thing. Like, I get that. And I think that's the thing for me personally, was like, it was that brotherhood thing, that being in a spot.
Right.
Where you got me, it's me, you, 2 or 3 other guys, And all that matters is that the 5 of us get out of this fucking shit.
Right.
Like, there is something innately, and it's probably a toxic masculinity thing or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's just like it's there.
Yeah, and there's an extent that kind of like idea kind of got glorified. I'm not saying there's definitely truth to it, but also I can think in like the general media. It was,
sure. I mean,
when you had like
I watched
movies
Saving
and stuff
Private
like
Ryan.
that kind of, yeah.
We watched Band of Brothers.
Right.
Great. It's amazing.
Right.
There's a great video. Segura has it on his podcast. I'd have to go find it. It's really funny. It's like this guy that's he was like, I loved it. I loved killing Japs. It was the greatest thing ever. This guy's like 80,
right,
sitting on his like rocker on the front porch. It's like everybody else doesn't want to talk about it or talks about how bad it was, and he's like, "Oh, it was great. Got in there, stabbed a guy. It was great."
So I was reminded. I'm trying to think. Might have been like James Corden or something like that. It was some kind of like British star where they were like driving around on the TV show. But they had a few older ladies that were there, and I think there was some kind of like loud noise outside. And the host was like, "Oh, I'm sorry about that," and they were like, "No, like we lived through like the bombings and stuff."
Blitz.
Like, yeah, the Blitz. They're like, we're fine. Like we're custom. We're not as scared because we lived through that.
Right. And I mean, there is something to that aspect. It's like, what's the phrase? Like
Added resiliency, maybe.
Well, like weak men make bad times, bad men make strong men, or bad times make strong men make good times makes weak men. That's cyclical kind of thing.
I'm not familiar with that phrase.
It's basically saying like, you know, when shit's easy, we all kind of get lazy,
right?
And the shit hits the fan, and it forces, you know, it forces that, you know, paying attention, putting forth effort kind of shit, which makes things easy again, which then makes the next generation get lazy. And then the lazy generation fucks everything up, and then it gets shitty, and then the shitty generation has to power through it and repeat.
Right. So like my grandparents, talked about, and I think it, definitely kind of changed their outlook with just living through the Depression.
Right.
Kind of living without for years.
Right. Like like the amount of cash we found in my grandma's house when she died, just stashed here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. I don't know.
As far as like just changing kind of like their eating habits and, not wanting to throw things out and trying to like fix something, which some of that is just kind of like the older mentality anyway, is you didn't have as many repair shops on every corner. So
and the thing that you bought originally wasn't disposable. I had that
right.
I had that occasion today. It cost me $150 to get my lawnmower fixed that I paid $200 for.
Right.
Like, and I told the guy, I was like, look, man, I want, like, there's a part of me that's just like, everything should work. Everything's
right.
here. Like, it shouldn't be that bad, but it's also like $150 to fix this thing's a lot of money for a thing that only cost $250 in the first place.
Yeah, TVs got that way like 15, 20 years ago, and I think now I don't think there's probably any kind of TV repair shops.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty
There's
much
no point.
Just replace the whole LCD panel, basically, is the only way to fix something.
Right. But it's not even the parts part of it. It's just the labor. Like somebody that's good enough, that somebody that understands the machine well enough to figure out what the problem is.
Right.
And their time is not worth just buying a new one. Like, I mean, realistically, okay, just all right.
Part of that's like, mowers have kind of gotten cheaper on average.
Right, but I'm just saying,
like push mowers and whatnot, like a small engine repair. I don't know if there's still that shop there on Old Ebenezer or whatever.
No, it's gone. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So, push lawnmower. That's electric. I don't want an electric lawnmower. Yeah, I mean...
You can get gas for a couple $100.
Yeah, that's pretty close to the one I bought originally. It's $400 now.
Yeah, that's Craftsman.
Right, but I'm saying it's $400 now. I don't think I paid $400 for it.
Right.
And it cost me $150, $200-ish to repair it. And it's like, I got like 3 or 4 years out of it. As it was. I could just put this one in the dump and get a new one for $400, get 2, 3, 4 more years out of it.
Right.
What's the point of paying for you to fix it? Which is a good thing. Which, I mean, it's a mixed bag of things.
Right.
Like it's part of the like if you want to get into the economics of it, it gets real fucked up real fast. The guy that fixed it, smart dude, like the knowledge he has to have to understand how to work these machines and do what he does. Double bonus, it's a mobile thing. I didn't have to take it anywhere. He just pulled it in the driveway. Like I left it in the driveway when I left for school this morning. He was working on it when I got back.
Yeah.
You know, and so that was a bonus and made it a little bit more value to me. You know, but like the knowledge and the equipment that he has to have to do what he does is worth something. And which is why I'm not complaining about having paid for it. That's not my point. Like what I paid for it was worth what he did, because I couldn't do it, and it was worth it to me for his time.
Right.
But the thing in and of itself is not really worth that much.
I mean, cars are approaching that as well, to where a lot of people are at the point of the repair is almost equal to what the car's worth, basically.
Right.
It's like, which way do I want to screw myself? Like, fix it and keep that car, or sell it as is and get about the same money's worth out of it.
Right. Right. Well, that's where I'm at with the side-by-side. It's like, fix it, spend a bunch of money to fix it.
Right. Cross your fingers that it'll still last a few more years before something else breaks on it.
Right. Well, fix it and sell it, or just sell it as is.
No, yeah.
Neither one is a good option. But to me, sell it as is the right option, because then I don't have to spend any money.
True.
Worst case scenario, I don't get what I think it's worth.
I already told you something was wrong with it. Not, hey, I just fixed this and something else may break on it.
Right. So, screw those guys. All right, let's get weird, man. Oh, which button is it? This one? Yeah, I remember my buttons.
So this one isn't in the news of the weird, but I just happened to scroll by it. Again, Deion Sanders has a sideline bathroom at Colorado sponsored by Depend Undergarment.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, that is one of those things, though. Like, you think about it. Like, what do you do? It's halfway through the first quarter and you got to pee real bad?
I'm assuming your facilities aren't too far away from the sidelines, but
yeah, but
I never really thought of it.
You run off to the locker room. I mean, depending on who you are. Like, if you're some, like, third string, whatever, nobody's going to really pay attention. You just wander off. But at the same time, you're the second string, whatever, and you go run off to pee real quick, and then all of a sudden, the guy that you're...
Where's Smith at?
Right. I mean, there's who was it? I think it was Johnny Manziel, or it was somebody who was like he peed in a bottle. Like, he just went over and just peed in a bottle.
Yeah. I read a story about some pro that, like, went missing for a good little bit before they came back on. What was it?
I mean, it's an interesting, like, it's a weird little ism of the sport. It's like, like the way the game plays is you're not in it every second.
Right.
And like the automatic that is your body that is going to stop you from needing to pee because you're in the middle of doing something is not in play at the time, because you're the kicker. Like that may be the easy example. Like, you're the place kicker. You don't do a lot.
True.
And so
Champ's good enough, you shouldn't be. You're like, another 3 and out. Like, all right, send me in, coach.
Right. But it's like, like, I gotta pee, but I'm not doing anything right. Like, your body automatically stops you if you're in the middle of something.
Typically,
like, if you're busy, your need to pee goes way down.
Right.
So I'm not mad at it, and that's funny. Good job, Depends. Good job, Prime. I like your style. I don't really like your style.
And it talks about, I guess, kind of like the growth in, like, marketing for sports in general.
All right, that's the world we live in right now, where we have a sideline bathroom. When are they going to start sponsoring the blue tents in football?
I've seen it, like, in other aspects. Apparently, Romania does replaying ancient Roman battles.
That's fun. Where is Romania?
Eastern Europe.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Romania. I get it.
Yeah, sure.
So what do you mean they do? Like,
I mean, they dress as Roman soldiers, and I've never seen this word, Dacian, or Dacian, Dacian warriors clashed in front of a crowd in reenactment of the struggle culminating in the Roman conquest of land in present-day Romania.
I mean, we do our Civil War reenactments and the general like.
Well, I think it's probably more so up in like the Northeast. I don't know if you don't hear about it as much, but like, Revolutionary War reenactments. I'd say in Europe, you may have an occasional World War II reenactments, or at least kind of like a gathering and showing off of World War II era equipment. Actually, I don't think they do like World War II reenactments.
No.
I think it's more of kind of like a get together and showing off some of the old tanks that are still running and whatnot.
Yeah, usually I don't know if I've ever seen like we're gonna do the Battle of the Bulge. Here we go.
Right.
I mean, the World War I either. Like, that's kind of boring. Like, what would you do?
Dig a bunch of trenches.
Sit out there in no man's land and have a picnic while they're pretending to fight over after you.
You can kind of like reenact the big rushes, basically, and like blowing the whistle, like, all right, everybody over the hill and start running.
Yeah.
Don't die. Don't trip over the concertina wire or whatever.
Or all the other dead bodies that are running out there. And just go.
Hold your breath, but there's gas. Just wait, we ran out of masks.
Yeah. I would, yeah. I don't know that we'll ever see, I don't know if they'll see a Desert Storm battle reenactment. The invasion of...
Yeah, I mean, you got to get into that era, then it kind of gets misconstrued and it looks like you're preparing for actual war. So, even those tanks on our border, like, we're just going to have some...
We're just going to...
Well, they do like exercises and kind of like war games in different parts of the world.
There's been a bunch of them that have almost started actual wars.
Really?
Yeah, especially Cold War era stuff. Yeah.
I know North Korea always hates it whenever we go and do exercise with South Korea.
No, because it's not an unheard of tactic.
Yeah.
Like, we're just doing a war game over here. Just whatever. Don't pay attention. Nothing here. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, but it also gives you valuable intelligence as well. Like, I think I heard about the one that they do in Asia, where there's definitely like other countries that are kind of have ships or whatever not far off, kind of with big huge binoculars, and they're like, "Oh, what are you guys doing? And we do this."
As you should.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, again, like it is a 3D or 4D chess game, war games.
Yeah.
Because the war game itself is the regular chess game, but it's pretending to what is the other person going to do, but you're also seeing what the person is actually doing.
Right.
About
there's a mixture of like you learning from your competitor, your fellow, I guess, other countries, kind of learn something from one another.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, we'll talk to the Scandinavian countries and learn a little bit about cold weather, kind of wartime things.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you got, like I get the premise of it as far as like just logically, tactically. It's like, okay, if we're going to do a ground invasion of Moscow, how would we do it? What do we need to do it? And then on the individual level, it's like, okay, well, throw a football comparison. It's like, well, how do we practice? How do we see if this play would actually work?
Right. Got to practice it.
We got to practice it. Well, we can practice it with no defense, but at some point you want to practice against some defense.
Put you in a simulator,
even if it's your own that you're pretending to. I mean, like like Little Man's been on scout team. Like he's done scout team work where he's supposed to be the other team. Which is like, it's not about what we want you to do. It's about what we think they're going to do. So do this.
Right.
And so that the guys that he's against can react to what they're likely to see from whomever. Which maybe he did a bad job being a memorable player because they just got their ass kicked.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Some of the weird story I didn't realize was a thing. I guess they're called blue laws, but it was some kind of big, kind of like a Mall of America type thing up in New Jersey. Apparently I think it's a county statute or something that you can't sell like non-essential goods on a Sunday. But apparently this mall has kind of like skirted it the past year or two, and have had like retail shops open. Or I guess it's kind of like an amusement park kind of inside of it as well. So that's always been open 7 days a week or whatever. But I guess they kind of had like a semi-handshake agreement because I guess it's considered city property, but it's like a county ordinance. I didn't realize that was the thing, that some states and counties have, like, no, like, non-essential, like, clothing and kind of bullshit like that. But I think it's more supposed to be kind of like religiously affiliated, like being like a day of rest, but I'd never heard of that before. But I guess the city or county is kind of going after them.
But to believe any enforcement would happen, like I would assume they exist,
right?
For sure.
I guess the pushback more comes from other businesses in the counties that are like, well, hey, we've been abiding by this, but how come they get to make money? Because now they're basically the only place open selling T-shirts or whatever.
I would complain if I was a neighbor.
Right. I'd never heard. I guess they're called blue laws or something like that.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I didn't realize that was a thing.
Why would you pick that?
I've always associated like with liquor not on Sundays being kind of like can't sell or whatever.
Right. Which super conservative Tennessee's over that one.
Yeah.
Which most of the liquor store guys hate. They'd
rather have the day off.
They were very comfortable with the way it was, and now they have to because everybody does.
Yeah.
But that's just, whatever. Deal with the transition, you motherfuckers.
Make some money.
I hate you, fuck it. I hate liquor stores anyway. Yeah, that's the show. You got anything else for us?
That's about it.
You sure? Nothing?
Can't think of anything else.
Okay. Hey, we did a show, everybody. We're Almost Agreement. AlmostAgreement@gmail.com. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Go to the website, almostagreement.com. Check out what's going on there. Go to your favorite podcast provider. Like, friend, share, follow, text us to your friends. You can help us reach more people. And they can hear all the in-depth things about blue laws in New Jersey and I don't know how stupid voters are if I'm in the mood. So anyway, almostagreement@gmail.com. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all your favorite podcast providers. Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll talk to you guys next week.